So I try to start really early by just trying to establish a lot of trust and rapport with the founders I'm invested in, even before we made an investment, because I want them to know that whether we're negotiating a term sheet, whether we're negotiating a future CEO compensation package, whether we're negotiating whatever it might be, that they know where my heart comes from and they know the type of man I am, and they can trust that we can have a meaningful conversation. And I also want them to know that I see them as more than their company. I think that's a really hard thing, even for founders sometimes, to see themselves as, especially as they get really into it, but it's really important. I wrote an article a couple of years ago called "Founders Need Stewards, Not Masters." And part of that piece was around this topic. And part of it was outlining a good friend of mine's story where, I'll cut to the chase, his business situation was very trying, and he considered taking his life. And it wasn't for outside of him hearing the voice of God tell him to stop doing what he was thinking about doing, he might not have had his son. He might not have kept going. And of course, now looking forward, his company he's built an amazing business. He's got an amazing family. He's an amazing man of God. And that could have been all for nothing if he would have been convinced that he wasn't more than his company. And I firmly believe that, whether it comes from a point of just understanding the side of the human, or even more selfishly understanding that, hey, again, let's go to that founder who, she's amazing. This isn't the right business. I want to be there for the next one, right? I mean, we all know we've met entrepreneurs, we've met very successful men and women who are rock stars, not once, not twice, not three times, but however many times God has decided, right? So that's where I try to just kind of lay into that and make sure I'm checking in on them outside of the business. And then for myself, I think, it's really tempting, especially in a world like jam-packed full of egos, whether it's the entrepreneurs or investors like myself or whatever, I think we're all tempted at times to check the ego and be like, this is great. I'm a self-made fill in the blank, and in the same way that we can't say that, God, I'm here because God's blessed me with talents and abilities, but he's also blessed me with opportunities, and he's also made things happen through me, right? And I think that's the way you have to look at it. Like the same way success happens through me is the same way, failure happens through me. And we all know that God uses all things to his glory. And I don't know how a failure is going to positively impact me or the founder or someone in relation to this that I don't even know. And so I think there's just taking root in that helps me at least think about how I know that my identity is I'm a child of God. I'm here to do my best. And so long as I'm actually working my tail off to do the best of my ability and glorify God in the process, then I have to take that on the chin. I've got to take this one on the chin so that, I can continue to fulfill the mission. So that's where I'd leave that.